The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, has disclosed that the copyright bill, which has been passed by the two chambers of the National Assembly, is awaiting transmission and assent by President Muhammadu Buhari. Malami says in October 2017, the present administration ratified 4 treaties in the field of copyright with the intention of bringing the country's intellectual property laws to international standard. While the minister was speaking at a workshop for the validation of the draft National Intellectual Property Policy and Strategy organized by the federal government in cooperation with the World Intellectual Property Organization. Well, we have the Director General of the Nigerian Copyright Commission, Dr. John Asein. He joins us now for more on Nigeria's copyright improvement efforts. Thank you so much for joining us on Newsnight tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Well, let's start with that very interesting, the visit by the WIPO DG, that's World Intellectual Property Organization DG Darren Tongs. He visited recently and pointed out that Nigeria, especially the youth, do have innovative potential existing, among them. What exactly is being put in place since that visit, since his statement, to actually ensure that this innovative youth put to very good use?
Well, thanks again for having me here. The visit of the representative of the Director General of WIPO,
yes,
is to interface and partner with Nigeria in the development of the National Intellectual Property Policy and Strategy. And what we did last week was to have a validation, and we had all stakeholders from the creative sector, from the innovative sector, come to validate. The policy and strategy had been put in place by the agencies responsible for intellectual property in Nigeria, Nigerian Copyright Commission, the National Office of Technology Acquisition and Promotion, NOTAP, the Trademark Registry, and the Patent and Design Registry. That's because for more than 2 years, we've been working on this as IP agencies, realizing that Nigeria has such huge potentials. Right. So even before WIPO came, Nigeria already had a position, we already had a drive, we had a roadmap. The idea is to have a document that will articulate and provide our own step-by-step roadmap on how we want to deliver in those areas. So the validation was just for stakeholders to come and see what has been produced. And fortunately, at the end of the workshop, after 3 days, there was a validation. And we now have an improved draft, which, of course, we move forward.
All right. Can you just talk us through what this, the 4 ratified treaties, what they really entail?
Okay. In 2017, in fact, that was almost like a record-setting feat that a country deposited 4 instruments of ratification. We had what we call the 2 WIPO treaties, which are the treaties that were that evolved in 1996 or thereabouts for the internet environment and digital exploitation of copyright works. Nigeria was a signatory at that point, but we never got to ratify. Right. We also have the Beijing Treaty on audiovisual performance, which was to upgrade the rights of audiovisual performance, and of course the one that is most recent is the Marrakesh Treaty, which is to provide for the blind, the visually impaired, and the print disabled persons in society to have access to learning materials, to education materials. So those 4 treaties were ratified by Nigeria in 2017, and Nigeria has since gone ahead to domesticate those provisions in the new copyright bill that was passed recently by National Assembly.
What exactly should we expect from this copyright bill?
Well, first, for those in the media, one thing you will expect is that as you go online, you will have more facilities. There will be more protection for your works online, and where there is infringement, there will be better protective mechanism to enable the enforcing agency to bring down any infringing work that is online.
I find this really interesting. I'm just going to make it very, very practical here. Almost everyone is a content creator now, as it is, and they're making good money from it.
And that's good.
Be it on YouTube and all your social media, platforms. Just reading a bit on this whole, copyright infringement. I understand it's possible to engage in copying, right, or copywriting and distributing someone's work without actually violating or infringing on anything. Help me understand this. It seems there's a very thin line with the way the digital world is going now. For most artists, their songs become very popular because people get to use parts of those songs to put what you call the challenges right now.
And the artists themselves don't benefit from their work.
As well, without the permission of those artists. So at what point do we draw the line?
Well, I would like to draw the line following the money. Once money flows, then you have a line drawn. Because the simple theory is that you can't be making money off someone else's sweat. So there should be a mechanism that allows you to use the work, but knowing that a percentage will have to go to the original creator of that work. That's a simple way of explaining it. Once you begin to commercialize and make money from another person's work, then you should be prepared. And in fact, you should have an obligation to pay something back to the original creator.
But at that point, is it not already too late? I mean, how does a person who owns intellectual property ensure that, look, they're not unduly used or, capitalized on in a way that somebody else benefits from their intellectual work?
Yeah.
How do you protect yourself in the first
place? It's always good for the owner of an intellectual property, say in this case copyright, to have his work out there. So you are better off having your work exploited. All you're asking is that if you're going to exploit it, exploit it, within the ambits of law and, of course, in a very responsible manner. So what you do is that there are frameworks for ensuring that you're able to get that money. For instance, you have collective management organizations, CMOs, that help you to track where your work is being used. So you as a musician, for instance, will not be the one running after everybody using your work. But a CMO, for instance, will know if music has been played on Arise TV, on any other TV, and they know how long it was played. So they can come to us and say, look, our member has his work that was played, and you have this much to pay.
Just take on what you just said. First of all, putting your work out there.
Yeah.
Is that enough? Is that all I need to do to let the world understand that this belongs to me, and if you use this to make money, you need to pay me? Or is there something else I need to do when I put my work out there?
Well, one of the things you need to do is to ensure that the business model you've chosen enables you to track the use of your work as much as possible, and there is a provision that allows return on the investment you are putting creatively. Secondly, you must ensure that you also do not infringe on other people's works. And of course, you must, if you need a CMO to help you administer your work, you should belong to a CMO. But having done that, unlike other aspects of intellectual property, you do not have to start by coming to register the work. Although we do encourage that it's good to register your work, Commission has that online. It's good to register your work so that in the event that there is a dispute, you can call on the repository, and that gives you an advantage to be able to fight your case.
But how effective are these CMOs? How accessible are they to people who want to protect their intellectual property?
They are very accessible. I mean, if you check on the NCC website, for instance, you will see which CMO applies in the particular area of work you are dealing with. And those who are in the business know that this is how it is done. I mean, that's the global practice, to have CMOs help manage some aspects of your rights. And you have your own rights managers who, of course, know what to do. So it's always good for a musician or an artist to have someone managing his or her works.
Right. That's a good place to leave it. Dr. John Asein, DG, Nigeria Copyright Commission.
Thank
you. It'll be nice to see you again and even talk further on this intellectual property and what you're doing.
You're about to put your work out there.
I might just. You never know. You never know.
I guarantee you protection.
Thank you so much
so much
for joining us.